This is 4 ways that I use Procreate when I create my traditional art. Procreate is a drawing art creation app for iPad or whatever the competitor tablet is. And you might be thinking, Karissa, why on earth are you talking about this? You're not a digital artist. You would be right. I am not a digital artist. However, I use Procreate all the time, and I've been using Procreate for 5 years. And these are the ways that I use Procreate for my traditional pen and paper art. Before I talk about the ways that I use it for traditional art, let's talk about reasons to love it. Number 1, Procreate is a $10 app one time. It's not a subscription. It's not like a recurring thing. You buy the app one time and you have it for life. It might not be $10 anymore. I might need to fact check myself. The number 1 reason to love Procreate is that it's affordable and accessible. Now, if you don't have an iPad or a tablet of some kind, they do have a pocket version that you can use on your phone. However, I've not played around with that. I don't really know anything about it. So if you want advice about that or opinions or reviews, go watch a different video. Number 2, the creators, the people behind the app, have publicly stated that they hate AI and that they will not be adding AI tools to the app. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want on AI. I have my own opinion about it, but in a world where everyone is embracing AI and it quite literally is being shoved down our throats all the time. It's on every billboard, in every ad. Everyone wants you to use AI for everything. I find it very refreshing that there is a tech company where they very easily could add AI to the app, to the software. They're choosing not to. They're going against the grain. They're swimming upstream. So I love that about them, and it makes me want to use the app and anything that they create more often. The third and final reason is that it is so universally loved, and that means there are endless tools for it. The amount of brushes and textures and assets that you can get for free or for purchase that go with Procreate that you can use within the app is honestly mind-boggling. I mean, there are so many, which I think is really nice. It's fun to be able to have all these different things that work within the tool that we're all universally using. It kind of means that whatever you can think up, whatever you're trying to do in Procreate, there's probably a tool for it that you could, go out and purchase. Maybe it's free. I don't know. So those are my 3 reasons why I think Procreate is an incredible app that honestly have nothing to do with the app itself, which is also another reason to love it because the app itself is great. Okay, the real meat of the video, the reason why you're here. These are the 4 ways that I use Procreate as a traditional artist. Number 1, I like to use Procreate for thumbnails and rough sketches. Now, I will do thumbnails and rough sketches in a sketchbook on a random piece of paper. Like, it doesn't have to be on Procreate, but I do like doing it on Procreate because it's faster. And I have spent a lot of time debating this in my head, wondering if me using Procreate to do my rough sketches is cheating. I don't think that it is, because I think using tools and using technology in a way that enhances your creative process, improves your creative process, is a good thing. Using Procreate to do some rough sketches is a great way to speed up the process and spend more time making the idea great, making the actual drawing great, and less time drawing something, realizing I don't like it, erasing, drawing something, realizing I don't like it, erasing. The beauty of Procreate is that, 1, you can undo what you're doing. We're talking about that 2-finger double tap, okay? The other thing that's great about it is you can pick up something that you just drew and move it. So that's really helpful for me in really getting my composition to look good. Composition is a challenging thing to learn. I think it takes years and years and tons of practice to be really great at it. And I am learning that. I am putting in the time to do my practice and figure out how to make good composition choices. But I also want to be able to make art that I'm really proud of along the way. And so using Procreate as a tool to finalize my composition and get my rough sketches done really helps me move quicker through the process so I can get to the more fun parts, which is choosing colors and actually breaking out the paints and all of that stuff. It's also really nice because if I'm sitting on the couch and, I'm watching a movie or something and I want to work on a rough sketch, but I don't want to go sit at my desk and draw on a piece of paper, you know, my iPad's right here. It's nice. That is convenient. I love that. The second way that I use Procreate in my traditional art is turning my art into sticker. Usually what that looks like is I will take a piece of my traditional art and kind of cut it out from the background. I have a strawberry sticker that's a good example of that. And then I'll give it like a background color or texture, and I'll add some things. And then usually I'll add some text and stuff like that that is not a part of the actual drawing or painting that I did, that I'll add in Procreate. The third way that I use Procreate for my traditional art is as a light box. Now, if you don't know what a light box is, it's basically a box with a light in it. It's basically any kind of box with a light in it, and then the box has to let the light shine through. When I was a child, I had a version of this that was plastic and kind of shaped like a really fat, chunky laptop. And you would like open it and the light bulb would be inside, and you could keep your little drawing tools in there, and then you pull it out and close it and put your paper on top and then do your tracing or whatever, which is what a light box, I'm pretty sure, is originally designed for, is for tracing, which is what I'm using it for in Procreate, calling it a light box. So what that looks like is I will work on a rough sketch, and then if I want to copy my rough sketch, which I think an important caveat to this, and I probably don't need to say this, but I'm never tracing in Procreate. I'm never putting a photo into Procreate, which is something you can do, and then drawing over the top of it and then deleting the photo. I have no issue if that's how you choose to do things. Whatever, do whatever you want. However, I think that does a disservice to me because I think I'm not growing and learning how to draw things on my own if I'm always tracing a photo. So I never do that. I will put the photo on my artboard in Procreate, like above where I'm working, so that it's right there, like my reference, but I'm never tracing photos because I want to grow. I want to become better at drawing. That's really important to me, and the only way to do that is to just keep drawing, even when it looks like trash. So that's a caveat. I'm never tracing. However, if I'm using it as a light box, I am tracing because I already did the drawing in Procreate. I already did the rough sketch. I finalized my composition. I worked through it all. I erased. I started over. I finally figured it out. If I don't want to take the time to meticulously copy my own rough sketch onto a piece of paper, I will lightbox it. Now, I can't always do this because I have a very small iPad. I don't know exactly what size this is, but I'm pretty sure it's the smallest size that they make of the iPad Pro, whatever size that is. There are limits to this. You know, I can't trace a 9x12 drawing from Procreate onto a piece of paper because this is just not big enough. I recently did a video where I was trying to compare two paintings, and so I wanted the composition, the drawing, to be identical so that the only differences you were seeing was the actual paint. And I used Procreate and my iPad as a light box to do that so that I could copy the drawing 2 times and there be no differences. How you turn your iPad into a light box is you turn the brightness up really high as it will go. Generally speaking, it works better if you're drawing at night because it's not really bright in the room. And then you can go into, it's like an accessibility feature in your settings where you basically are locking the screen, and the only way to get out of whatever it is that you're in is to press one of the buttons like 3 times. Once you turn that feature on, then I'll just tape my piece of paper to the iPad screen and draw over the top of it. Obviously, you probably don't want to press really hard, but I've never had any problems. Okay, the fourth and final way that I use Procreate for my traditional art is by color mapping my pieces. Basically what I do is if I have done a drawing and I've inked it or whatever, it's finalized on paper, but I'm unsure of what I want the colors to be, and I don't want to make any permanent decisions yet, I will take a photo of said drawing, load it into Procreate, and then I will use the watercolor brushes that I mentioned earlier, the pack that I purchased, and I will color my own drawing, almost as if it's like a digital coloring page. And I'll usually put different sections on different layers so that I can quickly change the color using the color drop tool to decide, okay, do I like it better if it's green or if it's blue? Should this be yellow? Should this be orange? I did that a lot in the last piece that I created because there were so many different elements in that piece. There were so many little things, and I was overwhelmed. I was just like, well, a lot of this stuff could be any color I wanted, So I don't know what color to choose. And so loading that into Procreate and just experimenting, trying to figure out what color should the cabinets be, what color should the tea kettle be, was really helpful. A little bit of planning goes a long way, and using a tool like Procreate is really helpful because it means that the planning doesn't take forever. So there you have it. Those are the 4 ways that I use Procreate in my traditional art. I probably use it in some other ways too that I haven't thought of. If you are a traditional artist and you use Procreate, and you use it in a way that I did not mention, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please tell me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for commenting and subscribing and being here. It really means the world, and I will talk to you next time.